Hey everybody! Dun, 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 dun. Jason, Diana, Dan, Rex, Tara, Rosalind, Alex, Carlene, Ted, Laura, Jan, Joseph, Rick, Andreas, Valerie, Gary, Alex. Welcome everybody! And guess what? It is raining outside here. Like it's kind of like pouring, so um, I might lose power, and just want to throw that out there. So be aware that if I lose power, I'll have to end the end the broadcast. Well, thank you, Valerie. Thank you very much, and welcome everybody. So, needless to say, Kimberly said, "Keep it brief. Don't hang out with everybody forever." And welcome to the show. So, um, what's on tap? Well, we've got Microsoft reported earnings, AMD reported earnings. We've got more stuff reporting earnings. We got the FOMC tomorrow, right there. We've got Meta tomorrow afternoon after the FOMC. Then we got Apple and Amazon reporting earnings after that. So it's a big bold week of earnings. And I guess Gaston has problems. I think it's on your end. And everybody can hear me, right? It shows I got sound going out. Should be able to hear me. And anyway. All right. Well, that's what we got here. So we got the FOMC coming up tomorrow. Didn't refresh this. Right there. Right there, right there. 2 p.m. That's the deal. Probably gonna hold the fund rates constantly. But I think they're going to say a lot of rhetoric about how they're going to rate cut in September. And that may goose the market pretty good. So there you go. Now funny enough, I was talking to Rongamer about, I don't know what time it was. He shows up, he could say, but it was probably like 1 o'clock, maybe 1:30. I don't know, maybe 2. I don't know, somewhere in there. I was like, oh, it's about 80% chance we're gonna make a lower low in the S&P in ES. And he was like, how do you know? I was like, well, 80. Well, I was like, oh, we're probably gonna make a lower low. And he goes, and then I said it's about 80-20 on the probability. And right after the close, when Microsoft reported earnings, we did it. We did it. We made the lower low. And wow, that's a bunch of alerts. That's a bunch of alerts. Close, 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 close. Anybody thinks I don't get a lot of alerts? And I marked all those red on the other screen. It just reloaded them right there. But look, right there, lower low. It poked below. Right there. That could be the bottom. That could be it. Dun, 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 dun. So at this point, we're either going to bounce up here, find resistance, or maybe the start of a bigger down. So there you go. There you go. And anyway, so that was on the back of mainly this right here. Look at that. Woo. Big drop. Right there was the close, and there we go. Right there in the post market, all the way down here. And if we go up to the daily chart, that puts us below the roadmap line. Pretty good. Pretty good amount. Almost down to this over here. So there was the pop, and we're taking it right back out. Taking it right back out. AMD was popping a little bit. Still popping a little bit. Nice. Trying to save that. Trying to save it. Now, this could be a wave 2 on the way down. So if we pop back up here, watch for that, and then that. So watch out for that retrace and then that continuation. already back up to the box in the post market. Very cautious here. This would not be what I consider complete at this point. It could be, I guess, but it would leave me very unsure about what's next right there. Very, very unsure. And yeah, this one, as you can see, getting below the roadmap line. Might flush out deeper. SMCI, we have earnings coming up right there on the 6th next week. And this kind of reminds me, like this price action we've got on AMD, it reminds me of this, except this has deeper to go. AMD kind of has deeper to go, as you can see right there. The ideal target would be down here in this neighborhood right there. Now, Meta has earnings coming up this week. And remember, this is a request show. We'll get to the request in a minute, and I like to hit a few highlights first, hit a few of the major talking points, and then the highlight of this show is requests, not just giving my opinion on what might be moving. So I am going through kind of the things to watch out for this week. We've got the FOMC tomorrow. We've got Meta. We've got Apple, AAPL. That looks like it could go down further. I would be very kind of cautious on that one. They're already preemptively announcing waning iPhone sales in China, dropped out of the top 10 or something like that. Not too good there. And then Amazon had its biggest Prime Day ever, already almost down to the roadmap line. This looks very much like Microsoft. Look, we hit a very solid line right there, right at 200. I mean, it tried to get through, but the market was not having any of it. Look how many flat candles there were, and then back down. Now, we could find support here in this where we broke out from, kind of. Could find support there and turn higher. I mean, I still do hold an upside target around this 230 to 250 area. But I also think it would look better if we retraced first. It hasn't really done much of, I mean, we did this little baby retrace, and we haven't really done anything here. That might, it's very classic that when we're going to break out and go on a bigger move, that we will retrace all after just poking higher to a retrace and then go on the bigger move. So, am I going to bet on it? No. We could just break out and go. We could. This could result in that up there, 500 on Amazon. Right there. So, that's all in the hips, as they say, right there for this week. So, other things that you may want to request that I look at, kind of hit the highlights with Amazon, Apple, Meta, AMD, Microsoft. We could look at Starbucks, I guess. So there's the stuff having earnings this week. You know, everything from here back is already done it. Everything from here forward is to be done this week. And there you go. Well, there's Wrongimer. There's Wrongimer. I was just talking about you, man. And here comes the rains again. Creek behind the office was all the way up almost to the parking lot where I parked my truck. And there you go. Alrighty. Now, flipping over, we usually look at the red list on Tuesdays. FOMC, I doubt they do anything. You know, we can kind of preview it here. There is no reason to cut. We're higher than we have been back here when they were still raising rates. I mean, that's it right there, like that. Now they may cut in September. I don't know. I doubt they'll cut now. I doubt, unless this really starts breaking down, I doubt they'll cut in September either. Honestly, they may have the rhetoric for doing it, but they may not actually do it. There's the thunder. So if I do lose power, that'll probably be the end of the stream. All right. As far as requesting, wait till I get through the list of stuff. Please don't request early. And I'll give you instructions on the rules of the game for requesting. in just a minute. So anyway, I'm going to hit a few highlights here. That was DGS2. That's the 2-year constant maturity rate. TIP versus TLT. This one's been an interesting one right here. Look at this. TIP versus TLT. And TIP, if you don't know, TIP is the iShares bond ETF, and TLT is the treasury, whatever you call it, the 20-year treasury. So bonds versus treasuries. We're in kind of like this watermelon seed squeeze thing. This is likely to break out at some point. Is it going to break down or is it going to break up? Not sure. So that's an interesting. It's been on an uptrend. Now it's kind of consolidating. We may get another leg down. This could very well move that size again. Up or down. Could go up here. Could go down here. Be back to 1-to-1 on TIP and TLT. TIP being priced around 107 and TLT being priced around 97. So we could see TLT break out, and that would push that TIP TLT down right there. That's an interesting one that I haven't usually talked about. So ES, as I said, made a lower low after the close there. After the close. If you're not familiar with ES, that's the S&P 500 futures. It kept moving after the market closed, the SPX cash index. And in Q also made a big dip. Lower low right there. We had made a lower low earlier in the day, and then we made a final move that looks like a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 down potential right there. Glanced off the 30-minute. We're going to have to see this break back above the 30-minute to go higher, but it could do it all in one go tomorrow at 2 p.m. So watch out, 2 p.m. Eastern, FOMC meeting, FOMC minutes getting released, and then Jerome Powell will talk at 2:30. So, RTY just was a choppy hot mess all day, taking my money. It's like me and Russell here. It's like me playing the penny slots here. I was trying to second guess when we might bottom here today. We did not make a lower low on this correction. This is set up to pop up here to 2,300 very, very clearly. And oil, look at this. Looky here. We got that firm close below. This is set to make a lower low than here. Probably go retest the lows back here. If not, make a lower low altogether down in the 60s. That's probably what this is telling us, and that can go fast. That can be 4 or 5 days, and we can be right back up here in about a week or two. And this can go flushing down and back up, and you may be like, no, oil doesn't move like that. But you go look over here, and it does move like that. Look at that move right there, right where we are, right down there where I'm talking about. We're going 1, 2 days, and then 3, 4 bottom, and then 5, 6, 7 right back up. Be careful. Hey, Rose City Trucks. And Brent. European oil. Right here. Probably got the same move going on. Looks like a 3-wave corrective. And that high, that low, that high. Probably setting us up for same kind of vicinity. Right there. 65, 69, 73. Right there. RB1 is also set to make a lower low here than we made right back here. I don't know if we're going to make it all the way to the bottom. That may find support right here as oil cruises down. We make a low and then bounce and go higher. We'll be very cautious on gasoline right here. This doesn't look like it's set to go substantially lower, even though oil may go substantially lower. And heating oil, aka diesel fuel prices on the wholesale. These are wholesale, not pump prices. Wholesale prices without tax. There's usually like $1 to an insane amount of dollars of tax on a gallon of gasoline. This is the wholesale price that we're looking at right here in the futures market. Diesel, That's an interesting setup we have there on diesel. That low, that high. We're busting through the 618. This may be indicative we were coming on down to the target that I held back here that we didn't quite get to. So more like the oil chart, except it's even more clear that we bounced off the roadmap line on the bottom, broke below the 618. Makes the odds. We're going down to 219 roughly on diesel. If we get down there, I need to stock back up my load back up my tractor supply. And natural gas just sitting here. This is a potential measured bounce. Cold is the inverse natural gas thing, and it was looking like a breakout, but rejecting today. Kind of rejecting where these highs were back here in March. Watch out for this to roll over pretty severely right there. That natural gas looking like we can do a measured bounce. Target will be up here at the minimum, 420, possibly all the way up to 658. That'll take UNG. That'll probably smoke UNG if we do that. Oh, that's cool. All right. Zoom her up. Yeah, well, that thing could use something, but wow, that's a declining asset right there at this point. Some of the long future stuff just gets beaten down, especially for a future like natural gas that tends to stay near zero. And GC, that was a contract rollover, I'm pretty sure. And interesting. Got a strong rally about, what time was it? And just took off right here. About noon 30. Noon 30. It just started taking off, ramping. And silver, I was beating the drum this morning, breaking above the 30-minute roadmap line. Pretty nice right there. On the daily chart, we bounced off of the roadmap line on the daily chart. So this is like an opportunity, as I was saying this morning, opportunity to get some long exposure. This could be set to cruise to a much higher level. How much higher? Look at this baby right here. Talk about this low right here being the low for my term trading lab people. When I talk about the low, the important low right here, March 20, February, March 2020, we popped up right there, made a high, January 21, retraced right here, October 22, set the stage because of the proportions here. That move up, that retrace, basically a measured bounce, sets the stage, 45, 58, 80 up here, these targets. Now, just look at the little baby daily retrace here. Target's like 35, but 45, 58, 81. Yeah, if this gets going, we could see this rally right on up here. Now, that might not happen fast. It might be out to 26, 27, 28, even out to 2030. So it might take a little while. So share spot here. Could be looking at a double, maybe a triple. Not too shabby. Got a little bit of, buy a couple ounces of silver worth. Just kind of set it on the shelf. Let it percolate. Not a bad idea. Alrighty. Copper, though, not nearly as nice here. Tried to break out, failed on the breakout. That can return right back down here, lower low than what we had back here in July of 22. It's nothing good right there. Nothing. We're below the daily roadmap line. It's a big caution. Big caution right there. It's going to take it down in a hurry. You'd be like, well, copper doesn't move that fast. Well, look how fast it moved right over here. It can put a heater on. Be careful right there, chasing copper. Now, Bitcoin is retracing a little bit more. A bit more than it was. We came up shy of hitting this downtrend line. Now, I want to see it hold a higher low here and get going. I don't want to see it come down here again, but it might. Still might. Now that the roadmap line is up above that trend line. That's a downtrend of highs back here. And it adjusted slightly. Downtrend of those highs. We kind of popped up through, tried to back test, still kind of testing the waters here. A lot of resistance here that we formed, like even before we made the high. Resistance in this zone, resistance, 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 resistance. This is a pretty strong resistance zone. All the way down to the highs we had before we even got up and made this high back here in March. Strong resistance zone. Got to break through it if we're going to go higher. And I don't expect it to really get going until maybe later in August. That might be what we have. Usually it's around 220 days post having, get the words out. 220 days puts us over here. Don't even have enough days. Right there. 211, 12, 13. Still don't have enough. 220 right there. Right there. May take till late November to actually break out to higher levels. So we may see this come up, retrace again before we can get the breakout. That's how long it usually takes Bitcoin to consolidate after halving. Now, I kind of speculated that we might see it rally up in here, retrace before we get the breakout, but talk about that in the crypto power plays updates for the week. And that right there, Bitcoin was not breaking higher when we look at this slightly differently. When we look at this right here, that downtrend of highs, that high, that high, that high, that high, rejected, couldn't break out, didn't do it. May mean we retrace right back down to the roadmap line right there. Looked at it a different way. How do you join my Discord? You buy anything at all, even the $5 roadmap line, in the link in the description. And when you get in the members area, members.prosperitypub.com, there's a link to join my Discord and instructions. It is for members, supporting members only. I'm not allowed to take payments outside of the payment system set up by the publisher. It's like a contract thing. This right here, failing to get off the roadmap line. Just doesn't have the gusto to do it. Got resistance up here. If we can ever get there, we did not break above the 618 of this retrace. We did do a 3-wave. It's kind of a flat at this point where this low is just barely nominally lower than this low. It's kind of a 1, 2, 3 flat and 1, 2 potential. It did hold 618 so far right there. This could be a measured bounce. Usually, if it is going to be a measured bounce, we see this move up with some enthusiasm, but haven't got that so far. Not getting it so far, so just waiting for something. And Dogecoin looks pretty not great, being below the roadmap line. And if we go, something I don't usually talk about, but if we go look at the total right here, this total market cap looks a lot like Bitcoin, because Bitcoin's like 56% of the market cap of crypto, more than 50%. And then total 2, we take out Bitcoin, still looks pretty much the same. Total 3 takes out Bitcoin and Ethereum, the 2 biggest dogs, still pretty much looks the same. And then we look at the others, which takes out the top 10 cryptos, and things start to look a little more bearish here. A little more bearish, glancing off the roadmap line, potentially going to break down. Not strong for something that's not in the top 10 cryptos. So that does not look awesome. How do you trade silver? Right here. Silver Trust right there. You can trade silver, or you can put, or another way. Ultra silver. We'll play it ultra juicy right there. Ultra silver. Now, ultra means leveraged, high degree of risk in leverage trading. And this chart does not look like the silver chart. Just throwing that out there. This doesn't look the same at all. Not sure we're going to do the big pop. Like this went all the way back down to the bottom, minus the tail. Not as good a setup. May not perform. Now, it may outperform, but it may not perform. So be careful on AGQ, SLV. Still looks marginal, but I think we're going to see a rally up to this 35 area at the minimum. Right there. All right. Oh, excuse me. Excuse me. All right. It is that time of day where we take requests for at least 30 minutes. And so the rules of the game. You need to type in all caps. 1 ticker per person. Don't hot load me with a whole bunch of tickers. If you're going to ask a question about the ticker when you make the request, please write in complete sentences with all the words. Don't try to think about it from my standpoint. I'm trying to read fast and check it out. All right. I'm going to stay until I get tired and need to go. It is my 21st anniversary with Kimberly. And so I'm not going to hang out all night. All right. So ready, set, go. I see a Mora up there at the top. And it's just hanging. It's hanging. Support right there. Resistance up here. That's it. That's support resistance. We start breaking support. Can go back to the bottom. We start breaking resistance. The targets are up here. 38, 43, 58 kind of area up in there. And let's see, PTSG, PSTG. Pure storage. Oops. Hit the extra key. Support right there at 54. Expect it to come on down to support. Right there would be what I expect. All right. And let's see. PayPal. Yeah, I did that one this morning. Nothing really changed. We have a series of lower highs. Couldn't break through. Couldn't get above the 618 today. No trade. No nothing. Can't get above the 618. It can definitely go lower. I've had a long-term target right down here for years. Back down around 42. Haven't got there yet. We got close at 50. This may just be messing around before it goes on the dive to 42. Can't break up. Nothing comes into play. We've got a lot of resistance going higher for PayPal. So the deck is stacked against it. TMUS has been grinding higher, and it looks like it's going to grind back to the roadmap line. Why would I expect it to do that? Because it hadn't been there since back here in October. And come back down. October, right there. Let's see, ABSI. Yeah, if you request a crypto, please use the ticker that I can look up, like BTC USD or ETH USD, that sort of thing. And ABSI. That high, that low. Resistance is right here. Right at the resistance. We break above, maybe $7. Now, I have to caution, there's 4 things that don't follow my patterns. One of those being low price stuff under $10, as in stocks under $10. Don't always follow the patterns. Leverage stuff being number 2. Anything that says ultra, 2x leverage, 3x leverage, any of that stuff doesn't always follow the patterns. Number 3, biotechs. And that's anything that the FDA, the Food and Drug Administration of the United States, is involved in. Biotechs being one of them. Drugs, drug companies, pharmaceuticals, med tech, medical specialties, any of that stuff, FDA, all falls under biotech for me. Number 4, China. Anything China stuff. China has a different sense of morality, and they follow different accounting rules than U.S. public companies. So they're since they have different morality, a different sense of and different rules for accounting, they can just like make some stuff up, and everybody trades off of that stuff they made up, and then the truth comes out like Luck and Coffee, and you get stuck in a trade for like 6 months, sweating that it gets relisted before your options expire. So that's the 4 things that I've commonly got my stove, touched the hot stove enough times that they don't always work. So caution on ABSI. And moving on. DBX. Dropbox. We got below the roadmap line. Oh, man. I don't like it. Probably going lower. Probably going lower. All right. Bud. Anheuser-Busch. Man. It bounced off that resistance. Ugh. Come on. I've got a lofty target on this one, but it just keeps letting me down here. It set up the pattern, tried to break out, failed to break out. It's probably going to take longer to break out. It's got this resistance. It's pretty tough resistance. Been there once, twice, 3 times. In kind of a downtrend right now. We need this to break back higher, but right now it just looks like it's going to keep doing sideways to nothing. That's what it looks like. AVAX, USD, Avalanche. Let's go with the all-time history. And it looks like others. Pretty bearish right now. Turn down off the roadmap line. That can go lower. Right there. MCD. There's just a few cryptos that are bucking the trend between total 2, total 3, and others. Just a few cryptos I've found. If your crypto is bucking the trend going higher in the face of total 2, total 3, total, and others, then that's the special ones. So McDonald's coming up to test the roadmap line right there. Support down here. If we turn down, probably heading down here. If we break above, we got to contend with the prior consolidation right here. Tops of that. Got to get up through it to start tipping the odds we're going up here. I did think we were going up here, but we took a little diversion lower. We made a lower low. That could be it. It didn't quite reach the normal proportions. So watch out for a bounce off that roadmap line and these targets right there. That 240, 237, 230 right there. All right. AMC. Dun, 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 dun. Looks like crap to me. Probably going lower. I'll be surprised if this doesn't go out of business. It's basically a big dumpster fire. Reverse split. Keeps going down. I mean, that's the very definition of what I call a dumpster fire, right? Just absolute dumpster fire. That's AMC for you. BITO is Bitcoin. So, but that is under the roadmap line and high potential that this goes lower. Even if Bitcoin goes higher, they pay a high dividend right there, trying to get their net asset value, trying to get the premium back below the net asset value. And today it's below. So they do have a discount right there to the net asset value. They've been paying that high dividend, trying to keep that premium on parity with the net asset value. And ZS. 3 waves up at the resistance point. Watch for the next leg down. This may be going lower. That target will be down here around 125, possibly 109. Right down here, something like that. And I just skipped the list when I bumped my mouse. That was smooth. There we go. RTX. I'm going to be behind a little bit. And that one could go higher. Target was up here. So we're just about to get there. All the way back here. Sometimes we go on a little diversion before we come back up to the target area. The next target up, we got 118, 136. I'm sitting right there in the 118 to 125 area. 136 above that for resistance. And FCX. Copper looks pretty horrible, and FCX is probably going down with it. If copper's going down, this is going down. Support right there, and if we don't get it, coming on down. 1920 right there. ARM breaking back down, probably going lower, roadmap line, next level of support, and then below that right here. I feel like I broke on the record. I say that. I go through that every time, every morning. Arm shows up, we go through it. Affirm, still chugging lower, probably heading down here. The minimum. CRWD, broke on down, probably going on down to the next support level, right down in here. Oh, look at that. We tagged the zone. If we break down below that, though, watch out for the bigger flush. And actually, this is down here. There's another target right here. And then if we get below that one, watch out for the bigger flush. Could make a lower low. Probably not that deep. Probably more like this right there. That's CRWD for you. Hate that I don't have better news. SWBI. If you're in my long-term trade, I'm still quite bullish. Next upside resistance, 18, 19, 21, right there. It's a long-term hold for me. I bought at 10, looking for potential very large numbers, up around 100, possibly 300. That'd be like a 10, 20-year hold, probably. And NEM. Pulled a few thousand shares of SWBI from $10. And that's cool. Don't move the fib lines. NEM hit resistance, the 1618. And if we can break on up, next resistance right here at 54. We do have some targets like up here at 63, 68. And if we can really get going, really get hustling here. Let's see, 98, 112, possibly even some ridiculous stuff all the way up here. 169, 271. Yeah, some ridiculous numbers. Ridiculous targets. I don't know that it'll ever get there, but they're on the chart. This is a giant 1, 2. That 3 can project it way the frick up here. 271, 494. Yeah, it'll be like 10x from where we are now. It'd be pretty wild, wouldn't it? Pretty darn wild. All right, moving on. ISRG. That's another longer term hold for me. NEM and ISRG looks like we're going to come back down to the roadmap line, back around 391, 400 area. ASTS. And got to zoom it out, zoom it out, zoom it out, zoom it out. And resistance at the prior high. I don't know that it goes anywhere, but there you go. There's the resistance. And after that move, I would not be shocked at all to see a deep retrace. Not one bit. S-Bucks. I went over that this morning. Starbucks just did earnings, and we had the potential to find resistance at the roadmap line. Right up there. Right up around 85. Got up to 80 so far. Still lower than what we had, where we peaked out in between earnings. Looks like earnings were no bueno. Not good. Missed on the bottom by a little bit. Missed on the top. Missed on the top. Missed on the bottom by a little bit both ways. Yeah, at least it wasn't as bad as last time, I guess. Consumer still kind of weak. CAVA. Seeing a lot of restaurants having trouble with the consumers. Just not making the money. And Kava has earnings out here on the 13th. So about 2 weeks from now. Looks like we're coming back to the roadmap line right there around 71. And if we get there before earnings, we could bounce. If we don't, we may do the Microsoft thing and flush on down. Right there on Kava. TTD is back to the roadmap line. Looking for support. Looking for a turn and burn here. Pushing on down. 87. We do have earnings coming up back out here on the 8th next week. So we may push on lower. It could turn on the FOMC also. Last time we touched right here. Nice big extension. Right there, that high, that low. Nice big extension. That high. We could come down as low as 84. Just echo that prior correction. Right there again. And then push it on out to possibly 107, 115 area up in there. That is TTD, LRCX. Looking for a deeper correction. We got below those lows. Watch out. That can come all the way back down. Whew. That could be that could have been the finishing move right there. This can get a bigger, deeper retrace all the way back down here. Watch out for that at this point. Look for that correction right there. AA. Uptrend of lows. We may be heading back down there. Only 3 waves up, turned down at the 1272. So this also might be indicative that we're going on down to this area. If we get below that trend line, that would be the target down there around 20 for AA. And thank you, Anil. Thank you, Andre. eBay. And it's kind of hitting its head. 57.63 upside targets. It can turn down at any point. It's not guaranteed though. It can just keep grinding these. It can keep grinding the ladder. It's kind of ping ponging right now, and probably gonna hit 57. Would be my guess on eBay. And CVX. Charlie Victor X-ray. Go web go. Sounds like the storm stopped. Big bunch of nothing on the daily chart. It's got a big downtrend cooking from all the way back here. Downtrend, downtrend, downtrend. Lower high, lower high, lower high, lower high, lower high, lower high. Doesn't look good. Doesn't look good. It's potential that we bottomed. We're trying to set up a breakout. It's potential, but nothing's proven it so far. We're not making any kind of higher highs. We've maintained lower highs. We didn't retrace to an ideal bounce point. It could go lower. Nothing's clear on CVX at this point. FL, Florida. Let's go long, Florida. Foot Locker. Yeah, nice. About to break out here. Still in the aggressive entry area. Conservative entry about 31. And there you go. I've had that for weeks and weeks. And well, probably since, gosh, I think I drew this back here sometime in April, maybe March or April. Aggressive target at 90. So there you go. That's Foot Locker. Nothing's changed. ABNB. Broke down. Watch out. Support down here at 132. If we get below that kind of 130 area, could go deeper down to 107 on Airbnb. Dell. Probably coming back down to the roadmap line. Oh, got there. Got below it. Gosh. Watch out at this point. That's a cautionary sign that we could get a deeper retrace down in this area right here. On Dell. BA. Read that backwards. AB, DA, BA. Hitting the resistance at the roadmap line. It's been up there, retraced, been up there, retraced. Higher low, higher low, higher low. 3 in a row, 4 in a row. However many one can say. If you want to count this one, that one, that one, that one, that one. Lower highs though. This is kind of watermelon seed squeezy. Squeezy easy. Squeezy easy. Easy squeeze. Not liking that at all. We may just consolidate in the zone for the next month until we run out of squeeze zone. Then pop out or pop down. I don't know. It did kind of come up just shy of my ideal target. Maybe dip again, but it has basically met all the criteria we needed to break on out of here. And I do have a much larger upside target for years down the road, probably 27, 8, 9, 30, something like that. And AMT. Went over this morning. Pretty sure. It's not known for being a big runner. Real estate investment trusts aren't usually big movers. If this finds resistance at 237, watch out for a lower low right there. SOLUST. Solana. All right, Major John. Thank you, sir. And possibly 228. See, this is outperforming. So Solana is outperforming the total right there. See right there. If we compare, kind of been outperforming. Depends on what metric you want to look at. Try to line it up with the prior high there. Everything except the, yeah, even the low here, we've been outperforming since. So seems to be outperforming pretty well. And if we can push it on higher, targets up here, 220, 223, 234. Then we set the stage to push on out. So no change on Solana right there. And AVGO. Probably getting a retrace back to the roadmap line. Coming back quickly. Almost there. Almost there. Set the stage. Now we've kind of met the correct proportions. It might dip on down, but we're kind of in the target zone already. 140 was what I was expecting. This could very well turn and break out. Break back above this, back up above the gap fill. May set the stage for this to go higher. So some people get really frustrated. They're like, well, you said it may go higher, may go lower. Here's the kind of the zones right there. This is where I expect support. If we break support, it's probably not doing the bounce. All right. If we bounce, even if we don't touch fully, we could bounce here, break back above this, and it sets the stage to 191, 196 up here, possibly even up here to the 1618 at 211. So that's kind of the way that works. Is there anything clear, high probability at the moment? No, absolutely not. There's no high probability setup right there on AVGO. And that's why I'm wishy-washy on it, because there's nothing high probability for it to do. UPS bounced right off the roadmap line and went lower. Imagine that. That low, that high, right down to the targets. Could it extend? Yep, my target, my bigger picture target right down here at 115, 116, 117 area right there on UPS. And CAH. Load. That's kind of healthcare stuff, FDA stuff, medical distribution, and kind of FDA. And that's a downtrend, lower highs, sitting at the roadmap line. Till we break above that, I wouldn't be feeling, I'm not feeling the upside here. Not at all. Not at all, not at all. Come on. Highlight. Delete. That high, that low. We've got to break back above this area right here to indicate we're going higher with any degree of certainty. 119, 122. Above that, we need to go up there. But you can watch out for a breakdown below. If we bounce off of that area, and if we don't even get up to that area, if we just bounce off here, going lower. So right here, roadmap line upside down. Retrace to the roadmap line. Extension will be down here at 91, 92. So, and if we go up higher, bigger extension down here. That can echo. Like it could be this whole first move right here. Echoed off of whatever retrace we make right down here. 84, 78, possibly. Alrighty. There you go. A CAH. Probably nothing that you wanted to, probably didn't fit with anything you wanted to know. Burlington just keeps grinding highs. Next one up, 267. Drew a big arrow over there for some reason. Maybe because of the consolidation over here. All right, that's Burl. Not a whole lot. See, just kind of watching myself mess with the chart there. And Citigroup launching out, meeting that fine, grinding this resistance right there, that prior high, and it's got the next level up here around 80, and then the next level up around 83, 82, 83. I mean, look at that triple top right there. If we can get through this, we're kind of tipping the odds though that we're gonna go cruising on up, maybe 91, maybe 106. It's gonna have to get a lot of effort though. Snow is still needing a touch below 100. Still needs a touch down here to a lower low. It's still where I expect it to go. I've been saying this for almost a year, that I expect it to make a lower low, lower than this low, right over here, all the way back in 2022 in the summer. Why? Because this is all choppy, overlapping crap of a price action. We need to finish correcting that out, finish flushing that out of the market. One more lower low right in there. Could go down to 75, anywhere 75 to just shy of 110. Anywhere in that zone can fix this chart and get us set up for going higher. I'll probably be a buyer if we get down in this 90 area. Might be a buyer if we get a lower low. Probably buy some long-term stuff. They have some neat software for data centers, but this chart looks like crap. There you go. And Mr. L, I don't think that's a ticker, so I'm not going to even bother. And the market, oh, that's my dad. I'm going to talk to him right now because I am on. Hopefully he doesn't have an emergency. CRSP, lower high. Probably going to flush down lower. Right there. MRVL. That makes more sense than Mr. L. And probably going to go lower. How low? That high. Right down here. Be the expectation. And Costco. Probably coming back down the roadmap line. That hadn't done a retrace in a long time. Golly. All the way back here before it broke out. On a rip. Barely got close but never touched, and then did the final rip. So I did this long, almost 2 years long consolidation watermelon seed squeeze thing, then broke out, ramped up, found resistance at this comes from the size of the consolidation there. Broke out, came up here, consolidated there, went on this final push higher, hit just ridiculous extensions up there, and now finally retracing. Probably going to come down here to 575 or 757, excuse me. 757. I keep reversing numbers. Golly. All right. L-U-M-N. Right there. And L-U-M-N. I don't even know how I hit B. Low price stuff. It's a giant dumpster fire garbage chart. Let's be honest. It's probably not going higher than $5. Be a surprise if it did. Not saying it can't. Just saying it's unlikely. And Lulu. Pushing down. Probably going to come down here to 183. GILD. Congratulations. Thanks, hangers. And possibly found a bottom here. 1, 2, 3 down. Gonna have to break above this high to get out to, man, look at that. This has gone nowhere for years. I'm not sure it's gonna break out. Like, look at that. Doesn't look very promising. I wouldn't bet on it going anywhere. TFC. Truest. Man, that thing took off. Like a rocket. Right off of there, up to the extensions, possibly 47, possibly 49. I mean, it gets really unlikely we're going to 55 or 58 before we retrace back to the roadmap line. And the roadmap line isn't, I mean, this is leaving the roadmap line behind, so the roadmap line will start turning up higher. but that leaves the opportunity for a large retrace in here. Right there. Oh, more thunder. And Baba. PA. Come on. PA. I know I replaced the batteries in this thing. Maybe it's because the batteries are laying underneath the keyboard. And that's a lower high and not really getting through the resistance. Can result in a turn lower. Sorry, I don't have better news, but that's not looking awesome right now. 1, 2, possibly up to 3. Resistance is right here. If we can't get through it, probably going lower again. And Baidu, I finally dumped this today. Close that out. Giving up. Probably going lower on Baidu. And let's see, where was I? Oh, gotta scroll. Scroll. Oh man, I just hopped it now. MMI. And the market's open again. So you guys got a few more minutes here. MMI. Lower highs. Looks kind of crap. Doesn't look like any kind of reversal. Just looks like it's going to keep chopping sideways. Sideways choppy on MMI. SMCI is probably going lower. How low? There's the target. Down there at 300. And Tesla. What gap? What gap are we talking about? The gap down? Probably not right now. Now it could. It's consolidating and it could pop up. I mean, it's got gaps all over the place. Which gap are you talking about? Like, will it fill the gap? Which gap? This gap? This gap? This gap? That wasn't very, you kind of left out the rest of the question. So there's the potential path. Bottom here, 4. Next target up here, 5. Then retrace back here again. So fill all the gaps, I guess you might say, because this target kind of overlaps all that. So, all right, BX. Blackstone. Right up to, yeah, that got super spicy on the upside. That high, that low, 1618. Found resistance, and we may get a retrace. That high, that low took a good long time. Almost 6 months of consolidation. Then we popped right up to the target, 144. Don't really expect much. We could go up to 155, but I would expect another retrace. You can see last time we popped after consolidation right here, 1618. Didn't get any higher. This time, 1618. Don't really expect any higher. It's just the way it works. BX for you. WM. I think I hit the wrong key. SM, WM, WM. There we go. Waste management. Back to the roadmap line. So there's your fib line right there. That high, that low. There's the gap down resistance. And upside target 229, 232, 242. If we can get rolling. If we keep busting support though, could come on down here. Back to 170 area right there. And TDY. I know I'm behind, so that's why if you ask questions about things, you've got to be complete with your sentence. That move, and resistance right there, and may go lower. And EMB. Come on. You can do it. Ordered a new computer. This one works really hard when I'm doing this. Looks like resistance at 53 right there for EMB. This has been very choppy and not very clear on what it might do here. Possibly, yeah. If we get up in here, we could take it lower again on EMB. Net Cloudflare looks like we're not being bullish right now and need to come on down again, down to the fully touch that support box. YYAI sounds like a piece of garbage stock, and it is a piece of garbage stock. I would not touch that with your money. ALRM. It could break out. I mean, needs to get a solid close above this like 71.50 area. 79.81 on the upside, but that's right into that prior high. There's going to be bag holders that are ready to sell. It's kind of what already happened there. Might happen again. And then there's more highs right above that too. This is going to have some stuff to work through to get out of this area. Definitely going to have a little bit of trouble, I think, on alarm.com. DDOG. Looks like we might go back down even lower. First move down, retrace, second move down. So first move down, retrace. Yeah, I made a higher high than that stuff, but then rejected. Watch out for that move on down in here. Lower low at the minimum, 104, possibly 96, possibly 86. I'd expect something down here. Something down there, probably. All right. BRDG. BRDG. Potential to bounce higher right there. This is low price stuff, so it may not actually follow the patterns. J&J is in a big giant downtrend, and I expect that to continue. It's in a big down channel. Gonna rally up here, 167, but down until it starts making higher highs. It's been in this channel for a couple years now. And Meta, already went through Meta. Already did Meta. Happy anniversary. Thank you, Curious Cat. Spotify. Just keeps rocking and rolling. It's going to retrace at some point. Think about it. The market's kind of retracing, and this is grinding higher. Be careful. That's money rotating into Spotify. And when does the party end? Hasn't been down to the roadmap line since, gosh, August of almost a whole year. Holy moly. That came up just shy. Yeah. Fully tested in October or August. Last August. Watch out for the flush, baby, on spot. I would definitely be careful if you're long spot. Know when you want to bail. Money's going to rotate out of that one. Ecolab, look at that. Right back to the roadmap line. Beautiful. It's exactly the kind of thing I look for every day in the market. That high, that low, break above here. We'll take us on up here. 252, 255 right there. And CLP. Well, that looks like it's breaking down further. Watch out for the deeper retrace. Kind of got there, trying to try to break out, retraced. Oh, unclear. Holding higher lows. If it breaks down below, though, I would be prepared for a deeper, like that's only 3 waves up into a lower high. That can definitely go down here. Be careful. Gosh, my gosh. So what this has done, this low here, this 1, 2, 3 up into this high right there, set this up possibly 88, possibly 75 down here if we flush on down. So that's ConocoPhillips for you right there. If we buy the market of the roadmap, do I get access to crypto power plays? No. Coin. Market roadmap is $5. Crypto power plays is like $1,000. Big difference in price. Coin support right there if we're going to retrace. And UCO is probably going lower. that high right there, that resistance. And it wouldn't surprise me to come back right there. At this point, turned down, didn't make a higher high, broke down below the roadmap line. Right down here will be my expectation at this point on UCO. LLY. Oh, it touched the roadmap line. Ha. Look at there, look at there, look at there, look at there. I want to see this one turn, break back above this stuff, and cruise on up to 1,000. I'm going to set me an alarm. I may buy a share. I mean, 10%, 12% just on shares. Pretty sweet. 11%, something like that. Anyway. And BIC. Covered this morning. Warren Buffett dumping 71 million shares. Probably not long-term bullish for BAC, but we'll see. NOC, indicative that there's probably headwinds for BAC going higher because Warren Buffett's not just going to dump 71 million shares if there's prospects for going higher. Lower highs, if we can break above this resistance that we've had aligned for months and months and almost a year, sets the stage for going higher right up here, 595. And yeah, no problem. Thanks everybody. And since you requested a whole bunch in order, I'm just gonna go with your last one, HON. And dun 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 dun. There's the retrace back to the roadmap line. Potential to bounce. Resistance right here. 223, 226 right there. All right, everybody. And I'm going to go home. Probably cook a steak or something like that. And, I mean, like everything's so expensive these days. We can probably cook a better steak. The bummer was that Whole Foods, their dry age case was out. So they don't have anything dry aged at all. That was a bummer. And I guess we'll see what we get to. Have a great day, everybody. I'll be back 9:15 tomorrow morning, Eastern Time. Same bat time, same bat channel. Make sure you subscribe. Hit the bell with the notifications. We'll be back with you first thing in the morning and go through the market like we do every day. If I said anything that was helpful, beneficial, give me a like on the video.